Welcome to ISE's Equity Index Weekly Outlook, a weekly outlook on ISE and other industry indexes, hosted by Patrick Ceresna, a derivative market specialist and investment manager with extensive expertise in options and the broader derivative markets. ISE trades options on more than 15 proprietary sector indexes, as well as broad-based indexes and a variety of licensed benchmarks. ISE continually enhances its trading systems and develops new index options products to provide investors with the best marketplace and investment tools to trade smarter.
Hello and welcome to the ISE Equity Index Outlook for September 7th, 2010. This is Patrick Ceresna. As always, we start off with the S&P 500 using that SPDR exchange traded fund symbol SPY. We spent last week consolidating right at that 105, 106 focal point. That's a critical level because that's where not only the flash crash but the subsequent lows that came in May all formed right around that 105, 106 level. We spent 6 days consolidating in that zone before we had that reversal back on the upside. That was a make it or break it moment for the bulls because if that level was beaten on the downside, we had all our downside projections targeting all those lower moves, but they were able to reverse it from there on the upside. Now we're watching that short-term high that came in around this 111 area right here along the upside. More than likely, if the bulls can actually maintain this momentum after maybe 1 or 2 days of consolidating, we could see a retest of that 113, 114 area back on the upside. But we're going to want to see the follow through here after a 3-day push like that. Next year, I want to take a look at the ISE US Regional Banks Index, which is the symbol JLO, and the regional banks continue to be the weak sector. During this entire counter rally, they have not been able to make it back above that 22 to 2250 focal point that we marked off as a critical level for a breakdown. Right now, with that reversal that came in today, as those regional banks reverse back down, continues to favor weakness in this sector. We had a downside target down around the 18 to 20.5 areas. The most minimum target has been complete, but more than likely there's room for retesting deeper down into the downside there. The only way we would become more neutral on the regional banks would be a significant push above this 22.5 high that came in the other on Friday, and if we see that, then we can potentially look for a retracement up to 23 or even 24 on the upside. But at this stage, we're going to be looking to see whether or not this reverses off of this 22.5 level. Next year, I want to take a look at the Syndex, which is a symbol SIN. This is an index of all the casino, tobacco, and distiller companies. And the Syndex continues to be a place where there's a lot of strength in the index. The lows actually held in right above the 105, 106 level, which we're observing right above the Fibonacci retracement zones on the downside. At this juncture with this upside breakout, we're now testing this 114, 115 area. This is going to be a critical moment because if the index can get above that 115 area on the upside, we could see retesting of 118 and 120 on the upside as it makes a push higher. But at this stage, we want to first see how the whole market reacts here. If the S&P is destined to make a couple more pushes higher to the 113 level on the SPDR, we probably will have a push up toward the 118 level on the Syndex. Next year, I want to take a look at the ISE Home Builders Index, which is a symbol RUF. We've seen little double bottoms come in along this support line. It's not an official double bottom until it breaks above the previous high, so that 950 to 975 becomes critical. The home builders have been the poster boys for market weakness, but they've actually held in very well, and I've seen some accumulation at this level. What we'll be watching here is whether or not there could be follow through off of this basing period. Nonetheless, we now know that there's some good support around this 8 level on the downside. It'll be very interesting to watch if the market does continue to consolidate, whether or not the home builders can actually withstand much of the selling pressure and then make a good rebound to test that 9.5 area on the upside. Next year, I want to take a look at the ISE Natural Gas Index, which is symbol FUM. We had a downside target going down to that 80 to 87 zone on the downside for a completed move. We had a very, very minor completion of that. At this stage, we are just seeing a traditional retracement on the upside. We'll be watching whether or not the natural gas index can hold on around this 96 to 98 level. If this level here cannot get broken on the upside and we reverse off there, we will see probably a proper test down into that bottom blue box around the 80-86 area on the downside. Finally, I want to take a look at the ISE Mini FTSE 100 Index, which is symbol UKX. More or less, the UK market has actually been very strong relative to the American markets. Held a very good flag and a retracement on the downside, and subsequently has already broken to higher highs on the upside level that the S&P still has another 20 or 30 S&P points higher to achieve those similar highs. At this juncture, there seems to be that strength there in this index. We'll be watching whether or not it can actually push above this to higher highs. If it does, we could see a move up to the 560, 570 level on the upside. But we're first going to want to see it beat this overhead resistance where it's at right now. That was your ISE Equity Index Outlook. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for participating in this week's session. Please join us again next week. For more information about Patrick Ceresna and to sign up for free index options trade alerts, visit www.optionsource.net. To learn more about ISE index options, visit us at www.ise.com/indexoptions.